So here we go, and it's going to be like this. I'll just give you the structure of this at the beginning, just a summary with one or two steps, and then we'll run through and do the procedure. So it's going to sound something like this. Attend to invalidation. Remember invalidation. Remember attending to invalidation. Attend to, remembering, attending to invalidation. And let me say a word on that, because when we're doing sets of three, such as attend to, remembering, attending, the way it works is you let go of the last act, which is attend or remember, when you do the next act. So when you're attending, you attend. When you remember, you remember. When you attend, you attend. The preceding acts will add up in your subconscious mind in the background and will reinforce the last step. So let go of what preceded to do the last action step. So here we go. Attend to invalidation. Good. Now, remember invalidation. Good. Now remember attending to invalidation. You may use a concrete memory of a time in which you felt invalidated. Good. Now attend to remembering attending to invalidation. Good. Now attend to invalidation. Good. Now intend invalidation. Take whatever comes. Good. Now intend attending to invalidation. Good. Now attend to intending, attending to invalidation. Just take what comes. Good. Now attend to invalidation. Good. Now remember invalidation. Good. Now remember attending to invalidation. Good. Now attend to remembering attending to invalidation. Good. Now remember invalidation. Good. Now intend invalidation. Good. Now intend remembering invalidation. Good. Now remember intending, remembering invalidation. Good. Now remember invalidation. Good. Now imagine invalidation. Good. Now imagine remembering invalidation. Good. Now remember, imagining, remembering invalidation. Good. Now remember invalidation. Good. Now attend to invalidation. Good. Now attend to remembering invalidation. Good. Now remember attending to remembering invalidation. Good. Now imagine invalidation. Good. Now intend invalidation. Good. Now intend imagining invalidation. Good. Now imagine intending imagining invalidation. Good. Now intend invalidation. Good. Now imagine invalidation. Good. Now imagine intending imagining invalidation. Good. Now intend invalidation. Good. Now imagine invalidation. Good. Now imagine intending invalidation. Good. Now imagine intending imagining invalidation. Good. That completes the first part. Anything that you want to ask or tell at this moment? Just checking in.
Yeah, I think that the validation scenario changed for me. I started out with one area in the past that maybe I had felt invalidated in, and then you said imagine, and then I imagined something in the future, but I didn't like the scenario because I might actually be in that scenario in front of a group of people teaching, and that was very uncomfortable to be invalidated in that environment. So then I went back to the original scenario.
All right. I'd like to encourage you to stick with the bad scenarios because you can dissolve those, and that's actually the purpose of the procedure.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, when something daunting comes up, it's better because you get a bigger payoff by clearing up grodier material.
Even if it's even if it's something that you're projecting in the future, that a situation that could happen, I don't want to bring something to happen.
It won't. No, because you're undermining in the process of undermining invalidation. First step, though, is to get a full experience of what it is that you feel invalidated by. So even that future scenario, it's just as real to you, if not more so. Evidence, you pulled away from it. So it feels like it has substance.
Okay.
So when you get a handle on that, you'll find that you get a bigger payoff. In fact, just as a little bit of an aside, today I had a choice between two possible topics. One was what we're working in, intelligent self-empowerment, and the other is trauma. Now, trauma is even grodier than disempowerment. And I figured I want everybody to have confidence and proficiency. And so before we go into the grodier topic being trauma, and the idea here is take on the difficult stuff. You will not get stuck with it.
Okay.
It's what I call tease the dragon. So just take whatever comes up. Let that be your topic. It's going to put you in a much more powerful position when you get all four of those faculties turned on. And then you'll be able to deconstruct it with the gold key release, which is the step that follows the drill.
All right.
Okay. So, you ready?
Yes.
Good. All right then. So we're doing the second part of the drill, and the only thing that's different is the order. So, with regard to invalidation, attend to invalidation. Whatever comes up. You don't have to force it. You don't need to resist it. Just what's given freely. Now, remember invalidation. Good. Now remember attending to invalidation. Good. Now attend to remembering attending to invalidation. Take what comes. Okay. Now attend to invalidation. Okay. Now intend invalidation. Just take whatever comes. Now intend attending to invalidation. Okay. Now attend to attending to invalidation. Good. Now attend to invalidation. Good. Now imagine invalidation. Good. Now imagine attending to invalidation. Good. Now attend to imagining attending to invalidation. Good. Now imagine invalidation. Good. Now intend invalidation. Good. Now intend imagining invalidation. Good. Now imagine, intending, imagining invalidation. Good. Now imagine invalidation. Good. Now remember invalidation. Good. Now remember imagining invalidation. Good. Now imagine remembering imagining invalidation. Good. Now imagine invalidation. Good. Now attend to invalidation. Good. Now attend to imagining invalidation. Good. Now imagine attending to imagining invalidation. Good. Now remember invalidation. Good. Now intend invalidation. Take whatever comes. Good. Now intend remembering invalidation. Good. Now remember intending remembering invalidation. Good. Now intend invalidation. Good. Now remember invalidation. Good. Now remember intending invalidation. Good. Now remember intending remembering invalidation. Good. So that completes the second part. Before we do gold key release, anything to ask or tell?
I think this time through, so the invalidation to me was not being good enough. And then it seemed like my husband would appear in my thoughts as someone reinforcing, it's okay, you're okay, you're good enough. I wasn't expecting to all of a sudden think of him, but a lot of times when I've encountered things, he's come alongside to assure me. And so when I was going through this process, the same thing happened.
Okay. So when I say take whatever comes, that includes what you just described. It might also include, when I say intend invalidation, not wanting to.
Right.
Okay. So take whatever comes up. Don't filter for correctness. Okay. So I want to do gold key release until the item is completely dissolved. We've been doing 3 in the past for teaching purposes, but we're after the result here and now. So are you ready for gold key release?
Yes.
Great. So put your attention on invalidation, the feeling that all congealed from doing the drill. Notice what it feels like to have that. Notice where you feel it in you. Notice its general size and shape. Notice its intensity. Notice the intensity of intention in it, toward it, about it. Feel how much it all matters. Feel how it mattering involves you. Think to yourself, it's true, it's true. It's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's true, it's true. Allow how remembering involves imagining. Stop imagining. Let it dissolve and dissipate. Awaken. Is it more, less, the same, or gone?
I think it's either the same or just a little diminished.
Okay, so take what's left. Notice what it feels like to have it. Notice where you feel it in you. Notice its general size and shape. Notice its intensity. Notice the intensity of intention in it, toward it, about it. Feel how much it all matters. Feel how it mattering involves you. Think to yourself, it's true, it's true. It's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's true, it's true. Allow how remembering involves imagining. Stop imagining. Let it dissolve and dissipate. Awaken.
I know it's still there because I just, as we're going through, it's like different things will come to my mind, different situations where I feel like small.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so take that feeling right there and notice what it feels like to have it. Notice where you feel it in you. Notice its general size and shape. its intensity. Think, notice how much it all matters. Feel how it mattering involves you. Think to yourself, it's true, it's true. It's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's true, it's true. Allow how remembering involves imagining. Stop imagining. Let it dissolve and dissipate. Awaken.
I feel like it's less.
Okay. Take what's left. Notice what it feels like to have it. Notice where you feel it in you. Notice its general size and shape. Its intensity. Feel the intensity of intention in it, toward it, about it. Feel how much it all matters. Feel how it mattering involves you. Think to yourself, it's true, it's true. It's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's true, it's true. Allow how remembering involves imagining. Stop imagining. Let it dissolve and dissipate. Awaken.
A couple of interesting things happened. This time it's true, and it's untrue. They seem to feel more of the same.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is I was able to go back to the scenario that I had mentioned originally. You know how you want me to go back before? I tried to, and I still shied away from it.
Mm-hmm.
But this time I was able to go back to it and see myself in this other situation and not feel as small.
Okay. So take what's left about invalidation. Notice what it feels like to have it. Notice where you feel it in you. Notice its general size and shape. Its intensity. Feel the intensity of intention in it, toward it, about it. Feel how much it all matters. Feel how it mattering involves you. Think to yourself, it's true, it's true. It's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's true, it's true. Allow how remembering involves imagining. Stop imagining. Let it dissolve and dissipate. Awaken.
It's interesting to me that each time I go through it, it seems like, it feels better. And then when you say take what's left, it seems like I'm in another situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's not as intense to start with, but but it's still another situation that I'm dealing with in terms of being invalidated and wanting to be validated.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Take what's left. Notice what it feels like to have it. Notice it's where you feel it in you. Notice its general size and shape. Notice its intensity. Feel the intensity of intention in it, toward it, about it. Feel how much it all matters. Feel how it mattering involves you. Think to yourself, it's true, it's true. It's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's true, it's true. Allow how remembering involves imagining. Stop imagining. Let it dissolve and dissipate. Awaken.
I think it feels better. Um, I initially went back to the last scenario where I was feeling better about it and it seemed like that was gone. And then my mind again went to another situation. So I guess there's just a lot of instances where I have felt invalidated or small or,
Mm-hmm.
and so it just seems like I keep coming to mind of all these different situations. And then I guess there's just a lot of work for me to do on that.
This is a loaded topic. So what you do is look for what all the situations have in common as a feeling. What feeling do they all have in common?
So all the situations are where I'm up in front of people speaking, and then their eyes are looking at me like a group, like a lot of eyes looking at me, and then I feel unworthy and small, like I shouldn't be there.
Okay. So go for the feeling of that. Notice what it feels like to have it. Notice where you feel it in you. Notice its general size and shape. Notice its intensity. Feel the intensity of intention in it, toward it, about it. Feel how much it all matters. Feel how it mattering involves you. Think to yourself, it's true, it's true, it's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's true, it's true. Allow how remembering involves imagining. Stop imagining. Let it dissolve and dissipate. Awaken.
I think it may be gone.
It may be gone. Can you find it? That's a question.
Yes, I was trying to see if I could sense it. Right now, I don't feel it.
All right then. So demonstration, tough stuff, dense stuff, usually takes more repetitions than something less dense. So in your general practice now you know two things. You can take on things that are daunting and win. And the other is it may take some more cycles to get through it.
Right.
Now the drill facilitates that by making it more vivid. The more vivid it is, the more you can feel it. The more you can feel it, the more you can take it apart.
Okay.
Okay. So the second part of this is self-regulation. That means, in effect, self-mastery, self-determination. It's like when you're driving a car, you're regulating the car with the accelerator pedal. You're in control. Likewise, self-regulation has to do with being in control of ourselves or regulating ourselves. Does that meet with something in you?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go for this, shall we?
Okay.
All right, then. So attend to self-regulation. Again, take what comes. You may not even have clarity on what that is. Just intend to attend to self-regulation. Okay. Now imagine self-regulation. Good. Now imagine attending to self-regulation. Good. Now attend to imagining attending to self-regulation. Okay. Now attend to self-regulation. Good. Now intend self-regulation. Good. Now intend attending to self-regulation. Good. Now attend to intending attending to self-regulation. Okay. Now attend to self-regulation. Okay. Now remember self-regulation. Okay. Now remember attending to self-regulation. Good. Now attend to remembering attending to self-regulation. Good. Now remember self-regulation. Good. Now intend self-regulation. Good. Now intend remembering self-regulation. Good. Now remember intending remembering self-regulation. Good. Now remember self-regulation. Good. Now imagine self-regulation. Good. Now imagine remembering self-regulation. Okay. Now remember imagining remembering self-regulation. Good. Now remember self-regulation. Good. Now attend to self-regulation. Now attend to remembering self-regulation. Okay. Now remember, attending to remembering self-regulation. Okay. Now imagine self-regulation. Okay. Now intend self-regulation. Okay. Now intend imagining self-regulation. Now intend imagining intending self-regulation. Good. Now imagine self-regulation. Good. Now imagine intending self-regulation. Good. Now imagine intending imagining self-regulation. Okay, and that completes the first part of the drill. Anything to ask or tell? Okay. I see you just muted yourself. I'm assuming that was deliberate. Otherwise, if you were talking, I didn't hear you. You're presently muted.
Okay, is this better? I don't know what happened there. So when you first mentioned self-regulation, I just thought about a lot of rules that I've had in my life and always following the rules. Mm-hmm. And then when you talked about, as I started imagining and started shifting towards a situation where I would have a drink of wine each night, and I wanted to not drink a glass of wine every night. And then there's a period where I was really imposing self-control over that, to not, have wine every night, and that was successful. And then it switched to listening. So I guess these are things that I'm really wanting to be able to regulate myself on. So listening well. So then I started thinking about when we were going through the drills, was the object was listening, to regulate, being able to listen well to others, mm-hmm. and not always, needing to speak, but to listen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So again, it seemed to go from situation to situation. When you said take what comes to mind, these different things kept coming to mind.
Exactly. Just whatever comes, that's what you work with. Is that all?
Yes.
Okay, let's do the second part. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. So attend to self-regulation. Okay. Now remember self-regulation. Okay. Now remember attending to self-regulation. Go ahead. Now attend to remembering attending to self-regulation. Okay. Now attend to self-regulation. Okay. Now intend self-regulation. Okay. Now intend attending to self-regulation. Okay. Now attend to intending attending to self-regulation. Okay. Now attend to self-regulation. Good. Now imagine self-regulation. Okay. Now imagine attending to self-regulation. Good. Now attend to imagining attending to self-regulation. Good. Now imagine self-regulation. Good. Now intend self-regulation. Okay. Now intend imagining self-regulation. Okay. Now imagine intending imagining self-regulation. Okay. Now imagine self-regulation. Good. Now remember self-regulation. Okay. Now remember imagining self-regulation. Okay. Now imagine remembering imagining self-regulation. Okay. Now imagine self-regulation. Okay. Now attend to self-regulation. Okay. Now attend to imagining self-regulation. Okay. Now imagine attending to imagining self-regulation. Okay. Now remember self-regulation. Okay. Now intend self-regulation. Okay. Now intend remembering self-regulation. Good. Now intend remembering intending self-regulation. Good. Now remember self-regulation. Now remember intending self-regulation. Okay. Now remember intending remembering self-regulation. That completes the drill. Anything to ask, tell, or request?
No, I think sometimes it just got, you just go with it. So sometimes it just kind of would cloud.
Yeah.
And I just had to go with it.
That's right. And sometimes nothing comes up at all. Just move to the next step.
Okay.
Something comes up in later steps. If there's anything to come up, it comes up. So do you have a feeling now for self-regulation?
Yes.
Okay, so just notice what it feels like to have that feeling. Notice where you feel it in you. Notice its general size and shape. Notice its intensity. Feel the intensity of intention in it, toward it, about it. Feel how much it all matters. Feel how it mattering involves you. Think to yourself, it's true, it's true. It's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's untrue, it's untrue, it's untrue. Remember the feeling of it's true, it's true. Allow how remembering involves imagining. Stop imagining. Let it dissolve and dissipate. Awaken.
I didn't really have any sharp or strong feelings.
Mm-hmm. Is it gone, more or less, or the same?
I think probably gone.
Okay. Well, check. If you have trouble locating it, just let me know. If you find something, let me know.
No, I don't feel anything.
All right, then.